Hello, it's Ryurai Hitsugi.
Hi, I'm Akari.
Hi everyone, I'm Shin.
And I am Otaku no Ken. And
Today
we just watched the second episode of Sword Art Online.
Yes, the second episode, which is called Beater.
Today we bring up some points
That sounds dirty.
It does, really.
Yeah, he's not lying.
So we bring up some points today that we had of episode 2, and I think we're ready to go over them. The first point that I would like to bring up is when the episode first starts, you see a very small amount of people actually gathering to help with clearing the first floor in the meeting itself.
Yeah, there's he's bringing up a meeting to try to take out the first floor. You expect with all these people in this game, you would see more. Nope, he has a tiny little bit of people gathered in this area.
Can't even fill up the one freaking amphitheater.
Yeah,
Not even a big one.
Yeah, it's a huge amphitheater. He expected a huge crowd, but he maybe, if that, got 100.
If that.
I knew I should have passed out those flyers myself. Kid probably took my money and ran. Spent it on cream.
Hey, you can never leave a woman's job to a man.
Oh!
Wow. Wow.
Damn!
Wow.
I did not get a word of that, but what?
Said you should not leave a woman's job to a man. That was a shot if I ever heard one.
Right?
Well then.
Alright, next point, shall we? Since that one kind of got thrown out.
The next
What's
point
his
that
face
I
is a
have
dick.
here is Asuna was hiding her face, and she was sitting completely alone when it came to the meeting. Everybody is clustered in these groups, but her and Kirito were the two solo players there.
Now my question is, explain why Kirito is a solo player. Her only reason that you end up finding out later that she's a solo player just makes me laugh because she's hiding. What's the point of hiding yourself for one with that? And the second point is, I think her reasoning for trying to stay herself just throws the whole thing out of the water. It's if you're trying to stay yourself, don't you want interaction to be yourself?
See, what you don't know is that she's one of those people that spends all her time at home watching cat videos and eating chips in her pajamas.
That sounds like a perfect day to me. I don't see why there's a problem with that.
No, not at all. No problems.
Who needs people?
Yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with my cats and my porn.
In my
And my super
porn.
porn.
I mean, maybe she just doesn't want people to know who she actually is.
Nobody knows who each other are anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
But maybe she shouldn't use her real name.
Good point.
This is true.
So, the next point that I have here is how in the bloody world of SAO do they keep track of time? The leader, whatever his name is, I'm just gonna call him DiGiorno. I know that's not his name,
Wow,
Diablo.
DiGiorno.
But
Diablo, I
he,
think was his name.
he says, okay, we'll meet at 10 a.m. How do they know exactly when 10 a.m. is? For people who are all over
I just
the
assumed
world
the options
basically
menu
playing
had
this
an. I just assumed the options menu had an internal clock.
That's what I figured, that Aincrad had its own clock system.
I just had to bring it up because it's what made them choose something in your mind. It's what made them choose that time in specific for this whole game when there's probably different time zones.
Yeah.
They only had 10,000 copies.
Yeah, exactly.
That was only physical copies, I thought.
Yeah, but if you actually watch the thing, there's also only 10,000 players.
I thought it was 10,000 physical copies. And that's why.
Yeah, and then when you actually watch the tracker in the first episode, it says there's only 10,000 players in the server.
Oh.
I guess the
Then
physical
how many
copies got a
physical
special
copies
server.
were there again? Do we remember that? Because Klein said he got one of only a certain amount of physical copies.
There was exactly 10,000, so I guess they got their own server. So I guess if you bought a physical copy, you got on the server early or something.
Oh.
You know, one of those pre-order bonus deals.
Pre-order bonus. That's why he got his headband.
So, this was actually a funny thing that was brought to our attention.
You're welcome.
In the scene after the meeting, when it's dismissed and it's going towards Asuna and Kirito, in the bottom corner, it shows for a moment, you see Kapow, the guy who accused the beta testers of basically withholding information, and the leader, Diablo, in a very interesting stances of holding two cups and basically giving them to each other in a sense of newlyweds. They were drinking as if they were newlyweds with the joint arms. I don't know if that has something to do with guilds, but in
Actually,
my eyes, it just looked like a gay newlywed couple.
Here's the thing. I've actually seen that in shows with Yakuza. That's a Yakuza oath.
Ah.
They're gangsters.
I did not know that.
So you just taught us
So they're
something
either
new.
gay or gangsters.
Wait, what?
Did I get what?
What'd you just say right there?
I saw that in some anime with Yakuza. That was apparently a Yakuza. That's apparently a Yakuza oath thing.
Yeah, we got that.
So they're either gay or gangsters or gay gangsters.
Let's go with the first one, shall we?
They're probably gay.
Gay gangsters.
I mean, he does cry
if you-
over 'em later.
Gangsters, if
Yeah.
you will.
He does.
He does cry over him later. After calling out, basically, beaters again.
Um,
Or I should say, he calls out beta testers, because beaters, they...
Okay, we'll get to that point in a little bit. The next point is also another funny one. How I wrote it, and I'm going to say it exactly how I wrote it. Kirito's special cream for the bread. When he asks Asuna, do you want to know how I got the cream? She basically is, fuck no!
She had no care
He
in
does
the
not
world.
wish to touch cow titties.
It's just funny, because he's like, you want to know how I got it? She's like, no.
Like, completely shuts him down.
You can go fuck yourself.
It's kind of a pervy way to think about it, unless you kind of just want to think Kirito just ran up and touched him, as he said, cow titties.
That's what they are. It's a teat. Where do you
This
think
is
milk
true.
comes from?
This is very true. You are very correct.
And cream is made of milk.
Yep.
So,
I'm surprised it wasn't just butter.
yeah. I
Looks
mean,
like butter.
it did look like butter, but
She said cream.
some people consider butter cream.
Well,
I can't believe it's not butter.
it's cream.
And on to that note, we move on to the next part of this. In Asuna's mindset, she thinks that dying isn't losing. But technically, when you lose the game, you die. But she doesn't consider that losing. She basically has the mindset of a warrior, in my thoughts, of if I'm going to die, I'm going down with a fight.
Still doesn't make sense.
At least I'm dying nobly, and to me, that's not losing. Rather than just sitting around in the town at beginning,
No,
doing
because
nothing.
that's... She says the reason she's trying to keep herself. If she keeps herself, if she dies, she doesn't lose. That was her mindset.
Wait a minute.
And in my eyes, it's like you still lost, you died.
Exactly.
Each their own. Also, does that mean if she's trying to keep herself, or does that mean if she gets in sword fights, does that mean herself as a sword fighter?
Possible.
She
could
going out
be a
picking
fencer.
sword fights with
She
people
was
in the
not.
street in real life?
That's the funniest thing
Explain
you
why
should
she's so
find out
skinny.
later. That she does not end up betraying herself at all.
This is true. But what is it that you said to me one time when we watched through this? Sometimes in MMORPGs, people will betray who they want to be.
Yes, but her whole point was she wanted to stay who she was.
Well, we can always address that point later when it comes into further episodes of her personality.
Alright.
Do you have anything else to say on that subject, Lance?
Otaku, you still
I
there?
got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay, just go on the next one.
Oh, the most award-winning speech goes to Diablo.
Let's go, win.
Diablo, something like that.
Whatever his name may be, his award-winning speech of, "Alright, everybody, right before we go into this dungeon, let's win!"
Well, it's like the best
Eh.
prep talk
Eh,
ever.
I've
What were you
heard
gonna
worse.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse. He could
not
have just
kidding.
been like,
See, the worst part is, I'm not kidding.
he just walked in.
No talking.
Worst part is he probably could have just turned to everybody, "Okay, don't die!"
In a way, he kind of did.
And
All I know, and because we're getting close to my single biggest rage point of the entire episode.
What is that?
Why didn't the motherfucker drink the potion?
Right?
That's-
That is one of our points.
That was actually the next point that we were getting to, where he's the leader.
Why?
He's the leader of this party, or I guess whatever you want to call it, to storm the castle and get rid of the first boss. And he goes against everything they planned out of surrounding the boss, and when he fails epically, he denies the health potion, and you find out that he himself is a beta tester.
he ran into guns
Which,
blazing.
Yep.
this is another point that cracks me up. That he complains about that. The part that cracks me up with other players is when you beta test, they give you an idea of their game and to test out for bugs and stuff. What makes them think that they end up blaming Kirito for being a beta tester and being like, you knew this was gonna happen and all this stuff, even after the book was brought out to show them that the weapon would change? What makes them think when the initial game released they wouldn't change the weapon?
See, at least on some level I can kind of get if the guy's strung out because his team leader just died and it's implied he knew the guy.
But that's the part that cracks me up. Is like they all get on his case after that. And they're all like, "You didn't tell us about this whole thing." And it's like, in a way they did. But what makes you think they would have kept the weapon that changes the same?
I believe in the meeting, when they originally were briefing, he did say that the boss does change its fighting styles to be depending on the people around him. So maybe it was one of those code things that it just randomly generated a new weapon.
Well, they say a certain weapon he pulls out when his health bar gets to a certain amount and gets red on the final health bar. He switches out a new weapon. I forget the name of the two weapons. But when they actually go to fight, he pulled out a whole different weapon than what was in the beta test.
Otaku wanted to say something.
I was gonna say, I know the second one was called an Odachi, but I can't remember the first either.
Oh, yeah.
So, on to the next point that we have. Why in the heck does it take only two people to take on a boss, and why did the group, supposedly, take so long to freaking help?
They just last hit it.
Like, the most damage comes from Kirito and Asuna. Everybody was just barely nicking it. If you watch it, you can basically see that they're single-handedly taking on this boss, and they're just like, "Oh, look at that! They're doing it! Yay!"
Then finally one of my favorite characters comes in and he's like, "No, I'm getting in this." He comes in with his giant axe, and everyone else is like, "Oh shit, we can help."
Oh my god! We're not just background characters? We can actually do things?
We can actually do things.
We are not NPCs.
I wasn't trained for this in red shirt school!
I have a point that I forgot to bring up and write down. It just makes me laugh when people are like, I am this. It's like, oh, what made you want to do that? Like,
I don't get where you're going with this.
the guy made the joke basically like he rolled a knight, but why? What made him choose that class in general?
Well, for one, there isn't classes. But
Because
he probably
everyone
saw
in Sword Art
himself as a
Online
knight.
is a knight.
Good point.
He probably saw himself as a knight, so he called him one.
Make himself feel better.
He was just making a stupid icebreaker joke.
Icebreaker joke.
You know, one of those crappy in-jokes you only get because you've been playing the game for 2 months.
Good point. So another funny point that was brought to us was the sparkles.
Oh, when he swings the blade and Asuna's cloak thing rips off. Why is there so many sparkles?
Because
Everything gets
I
so
guess it's because
sparkly.
the cloak was dissolving into data packets or something.
Well, yeah, but even when it's like gone
It's
for
a video
bit,
game.
she's just standing
Dude, it's a
there.
modern
There's
video
still so
game.
many
Everything has to have a
sparkles.
particle effect.
But I'm just saying, like, it cracks me up, because even when she's, like, done moving and stands there, she still has all those sparkles.
You know, Shin, we haven't really heard much from you. Do you have any points that you want to bring up?
Now you guys are pretty much answering my questions.
Answering the question.
So, the next thing that I have on here, and it's one of the last few things that we actually do have written down for this episode, is when Kirito goes to attack the boss, he first starts out as he's slashing sideways,
Like
but horizontally, but as the camera angle changes and everything, you then learn that he's actually going upwards towards like the head at a diagonal angle.
Yeah, he was going...
And he has the most...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say... And if you look at his face, it is fucking hilarious.
Yeah?
Well, that too.
It is bulged out as shit.
But I just laughed because it showed him going complete horizontal, like no angle, and all of a sudden, like, it cuts to a new angle and he went up. And it's like, that's not where he swung at all.
Also,
Shen, do you want to make any
everybody's
points about
sword
this?
glows like a...
His sword glows. That's all I heard.
And everybody's sword glows like their lightsabers.
Right? If they would have made that sound when they
Seriously.
would swing, I would laugh.
Like, why would this
Saber glows.
become Star Wars?
It would just be like an old Star Wars. Interesting. So the funny thing that Ryurai actually had brought up earlier that we can readdress here is basically Kapow and other people make beta testers out to be such a bad thing when even in the meeting the guy that Ryurai likes a lot comes up and says, hey, you know, they are releasing information here, they are trying to help, and he's like, no, screw that, they need to do more, and he's just being a greedy, selfish bastard, I think.
Well, technically so was the guy who tried to get the last final shot so he could take the cloak.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah?
Comrade Kibao is kind of a dick.
Yeah?
Clearly
So to
he is a
speak.
communist.
And then then he finally accepts them. It's like, okay, they're cool. And then they get into the final fight, and just because one guy died, they're assholes!
Well, remember, as Otaku pointed out,
I think he's just mad he didn't get into the closed beta.
well, not that's a big possibility. He could just be super salty. But we're going back to a point here of they were either in a gang together or they were gay newlyweds. For all we know,
Or
that
gay
could have been his
newlyweds in a
lover
gang
that
together.
died.
They
That's
could've
why
been
he was so sad. I mean, I don't even think it makes sense. Or his really, really close friend.
I vote lover.
Or it could have been his brother.
I still go with the lover part.
I mean, it could have been the lover. They don't really
Porque
portray...
dos.
It's just like the fat guy and the skinny guy from the first episode.
Oh my gosh. My final point that I have to bring up here is a beater. It's not... Kirito basically is
dirty.
like, hey, you know, I'm better than all the beta testers. And he's like, you're just a goddamn cheater. You're a beater. And it just becomes this god-awful thing. And he's like, yeah, I'm a beater, all right.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, the part that I crack
Hey,
up about,
still sounds dirty.
I still want to know
It really does.
how he's a cheater. When they describe what he did, and he was just like, I just made it further than the others. That's just being good at the game. How's that cheating?
Yeah, he don't know any, like, special things or anything. He just knows how to play the game.
What do they think he? What do they think he did? Logged out and put in a wall hack?
Right, he's
Well-
the one person in a death game that can actually log out and go take a shower.
Oh, he means the beta, huh?
Well, I mean, since he's a beta tester, they just assume that, you know, he can do all this stuff because, you know, he's further than them.
You cheated. You made it further
Also,
than
I
us.
know
That
how
sounds
much-
like what a kid would say.
Right?
Honestly,
Once again, keep out, dirty communist.
honestly, my thing is maybe if, you know, Kapow would have been nice to him in this situation and been like, okay, hey, wait, you really made it to the other levels, and everyone's like, oh my god, you know, instead of feeding into crowd hype, he could be like, yeah, I made it to the other levels, and then he could be the ultimate information broker and release this and help them clear the floors faster.
But nobody wants to, like...
Nobody wants to work with a cheater.
Nobody wants to
exactly.
work with a beater, get it right.
Nobody wants to, you know, just swallow their pride and just
least
start
we've heard
following
about
somebody
here.
else.
What'd you say?
Talking about here, he's grieving his gay lover.
He's grieving his gay love.
Yeah, he probably is, and
His husband just died. Give him a break.
They just got... That's perfect. There's a marriage system in this game. They got married right before the battle. His husband just died.
Yep.
hey, at least look at it this way: since his husband's dead, at least he gets his stuff.
Yeah,
I want,
that's
I want
true.
this as a fanfic now.
Right?
Definitely.
We just turn this into a new fanfic.
This is my own personal point of dramatic effect of flair, fabulousness, Kirito. As you're announcing you're being a beater, let's put the fabulous cloak on.
That was just cute, pure
The fabulous
badassery.
don't get
That was him trying to be fabulous.
That cloak was badass. Flat out.
Still needs its fidget spinner before it's good.
Did you say fidget spinner?
Fidget spinner before it was good.
It's wait, do you never see? Wait, haven't you seen Kirito? Haven't you seen Kirito's little weird metal thing from later? It's a fidget spinner.
Good point. And we could probably address that
Well,
later
look
on, but I'm actually officially out of points today.
Alright.
I have one last point.
What is
Oh,
this?
No Klein, 0 out of 10.
What'd you say?
No Klein, 0 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
Are you just saying that because you watched it on Crunchyroll and you got all the commercials?
No, I said no Klein. I said no Klein, 0 out of 10.
No Klein. That's his favorite character, and he wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, like, not at all.
Which, by the way, if you are interested in watching Sword Art Online, you can either watch it on Netflix or Crunchyroll.
We recommend getting
Well, ads will
subscriptions.
Or ads will
What's on
interrupt any
Netflix?
drama of what's-his-name's death.
Definitely. If you want to watch a very happy-go-lucky dark anime at any point, I would recommend watching it on Crunchyroll, because that way you don't have to deal with what Otaku dealt with today, as such as commercials.
That's Netflix.
Netflix gets no well, if you get subscriptions to Crunchyroll, you won't have that problem.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that.
Oh.
But I think that is all we have for the day.
Alright, I believe you were right. So if you like this video, like and subscribe for more of Sword Art Online and possibly other animes. And we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye!